Delusions of grandeur, insanity, sure, there's plenty of that. But here's what you can also hear on the Nice Guys on Business.
Reach out to us and we can tell you all about our advertising plan, which we have no advertisers yet.
Is that because we're known as the ass clowns?
It may. It's possible. It's very possible. But
No, they're not superheroes, but that's just because they couldn't decide on what color to make the costumes. Although they do wear capes. Everywhere. Need an education on how to grow your business? The Nice Guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
hey, Nice Guy community, welcome back. My name is Strickland Bonner. On the other side of the microphone, Mr. Doug Sandler. We are sometimes known as the Nice Guys on Business.
Oh yeah, hey Strick, I loved that post that you put up on the Nice Guy community page, which was sometimes we're known as the Nice Guy community or the Nice Guys on Business, and sometimes Doug and Strick are known as.
And you know what? Blank. I have to admit, I haven't even gone up and looked at the answers that we got. Like the match game. Have you looked at that?
No, let me take a look and see what some of the answers are. Hold on a second. Let's see. We have it was seen by 73 people. That's good. Okay. Let's see. So the question was, when recording their podcast, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner are known as the Nice Guys on Business, but sometimes people know them as blank.
Like match game. Wow.
All right. So.
Wow.
All right. So.
That's the music as the celebrities are thinking of their answers and writing them down. But that's okay.
Go ahead. Oh, you know what? Okay. So. Daru, he wrote Superman Sandler and Batman Bonner because who wouldn't want to be a superhero? Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I did see that one. That's the only one I saw. Yeah.
So Sonny wrote, okay, so the question is, when recording their podcast, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner are known as the Nice Guys on Business, but sometimes people know them as, Sonny wrote, I was going to say ass clowns.
Nice.
but maybe... Thank you, Sonny. But maybe you were going for actual names. No, Sonny, we will accept ass clowns as an answer.
Well, we'll accept any answer, whatever.
That was good. Sean wrote Sandler the Handler. Oh, and the walking. Now, I don't know if he meant to do this purposely, but he wrote Sandler the Handler and the walking boner. He meant to write. I'm pretty sure he meant to write Bonner.
No, I think he meant to write just like that. Yeah.
Oh, so then I chimed in Big Bugger Bonner and the other guy, but I should have wrote Big Bugger Boner and the other guy. So then Tim wrote DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. But
nice. I like that.
I'm pretty sure that those names were already taken. And then of course your wife chimes in with the ever popular Ernie and Bert.
Oh my gosh, of course. We're Bert and Ernie, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And Nice Guy community, I'm sure you don't know this, but we went to Strick and I were regulars at a bar called Victoria's Gastropub, located in our hometown. And wasn't it them that coined us as Ernie and Bert?
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely the place where we were. I don't know if we came up with it ourselves or they came up with it. I think they probably came up with it.
Whenever we would get our check at the end of the night, right? You know how sometimes they have to signify who the clients are that are sitting at the bar so that they can determine exactly who is supposed to get the bill. So every time we get our bill, it would just be Ernie and Bert written on typed in. Top of the into the top of the bill. My brother wrote Detour Doug the Traffic Slug. Didn't actually put you on that. Let's see. Dougie Fresh, yeah. And then Stacey Sherman chimes in with, I call you that all the time. So it is very true. But I would have to say that, in my opinion, Sunny Lake wins it because I think that I would really like to be called, when recording their podcast, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner are known as the Nice Guys on Business, but sometimes people know them as ass clowns. So I'm gonna go with that one. That one's got ass clowns has got my winning vote. I'm just writing that down so I can acknowledge ass clowns.
I'm good with that. Now, I also wanted to point out that Tim Hill posted on our thing. I went to Overcast, downloaded all episodes, and recommended each one. Gosh. Nice Guy Community Unite, move the needle, pass Tim Ferriss. Tim, dude, love you, buddy. Can't tell you how much we appreciate it. You just got to go in and download all of them and recommend all of them so we can kick Tim Ferriss's ass.
And Tim Hill, thank you again for all of that you do. Stop text messaging me, though.
And then the other thing that Tim Hill put on here.
Wait, hold on a second. Let me clarify that for a moment. Tim, please continue to text message me, maybe a little less frequently, though. So now that everybody knows my cell phone number, people feel quite capable of reaching out to me at any time. And I do. I welcome you to reach out. I'm hoping that with every question that you ask me, you expect a response. Let me qualify that, except Tim Hill. Possibly respond as much as Tim has been sending me text messages, but keep them coming, Tim. I love it.
He also posted a meme that says, hang out with people who force you to level up, which begs the question, why am I talking to you?
Exactly. I was thinking, why are we included in that?
Right.
All right. I'm looking currently at our ratings on Overcast, and we are still in the number 2 position.
Damn it.
We are, interestingly enough, we are still behind Tim Ferriss. I wonder what it takes to move that fuckwad off of that spot. God, he's just been hanging out there. I've asked him to come on the show. Tim,
well,
come
we have no idea if we're like just barely behind him or if we're like way behind him. There's just no way to know.
I don't know. I can tell you that we are about 100 episodes in front of him in terms of what our volume of episodes is.
There you go, at least, yeah.
A lot of his episodes, I'm looking at them like 2 hours in length, an hour and 45 minutes, an hour 35 minutes, 51 minutes, an hour and 9. He's got a lot of long. I had that too.
He does a lot of really long ones, and I think they get a bit boring. He's an interesting guy, and he interviews interesting people, but man, they just talk a lot.
So what I thought was quite peculiar is the in the number 3 position right now, and it's just been here for a very short period of time, probably for only the last couple of weeks. Is this company this podcast called Social by Default. Okay, so I'm looking at every episode. It's all written in German.
Whoa, interesting.
So I'm assuming that all of their audience, I haven't listened to any of them, so I don't know. It would have to be that this is a German podcast.
I would think so.
Wow. So that's pretty cool. And then if you go to the most recommended podcasts, so we're number 2 in the business category.
Yeah.
Marco Arment, who is the creator of Overcast, has the number 1 most recommended show. And we're probably, let me see where we are. We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're about 15. We're the 15th most recommended show. So not just the most popular show, we're the 15th most recommended show, which is pretty cool. I mean, we're behind This American Life. We're behind NPR. We're behind Tim Ferriss. Also, a lot of very, very big Fresh Air, Gimlet, NPR, more NPR shows. But it's mostly big names. And
yeah, that's good.
And it's us.
That's good.
It's
you know how we could get up on there? You know, Canada is at 6.10%. The UK is at 6.15% of the total downloads for our show. So Canada, if you want to catch up and overtake the UK, recommend us to your friends and have them subscribe on Overcast.
Yeah, it's very funny just to watch the whole process. And there are a lot of there's a lot of shows. Now again, if you go back to iTunes, we're not even
not a blip on the radar.
We're not even in the top 200.
That's crazy.
We got to figure out how to change that. Let's make 2017. Is this the goal show, or did we do that last show?
Yeah, we did that last show. I mean, we didn't set a lot of goals, but we would love to hear what some of our listeners' goals are. Maybe we could talk about those too.
Yeah, geez.
Reach out to us and tell us what some of your goals are for 2017.
Let us know. So coming up on February 1st, I think that's the official launch date. I don't know that I'm hoping that we're going to hit the launch date right on the money, and I really am. I've been telling everybody because I've been involved in the sales part, but the C-Suite radio program that are reaching out to the C-level execs in the C-Suite network. So it's called C-Suite Radio. Mm-hmm. I'm not crazy about the name though. C-Suite Radio sounds a little old-fashioned to me.
I think radio sounds old-fashioned too. I mean, but anyway, that's neither here.
Yeah. I didn't have a hand in what the name of the network was going to be, but C-Suite Radio on February 1st, along with other big names like Shep Hyken. Shep Hyken's got a show that's going to be a headliner on the C-Suite network. I have that. We have our show that's going to be launching as a headliner. Connie Fife, the former CEO of the Girl Scouts, has so we are in some Marty Wolf. We are in some really, really big company. Strick. We're about to play on a whole different level. That's cool. Are you like comfortable with that?
I'm good with it. I mean, we'll have to see what all of the other rest of the members of the C-Suite network feel about that. I don't know if they'll like our language and casual style, as we say.
There's a couple of approaches to take. It could be let's get in line, and then I keep thinking, well, that's just not our thing. But the other side of it is let's not get in line and let's be what do you call that? The one that's like the outlier. Let's be the outlier. If you're an outlier in this, I think that people are going to be attracted to the fact that I don't know. What are you thinking? I mean, are you thinking?
I totally think we should keep doing what we're doing and see, it's really all about the feedback. I don't think we even did the promise statement today, which is to provide a learning experience that is, I don't have it in front of me here. I'm trying to do it off the top of my head. To provide a learning experience that is entertaining and adds value to your life, which I think is a great, quick. I love our promise statement because it is very focused and it's really what it's all about, but it also keeps it open to say, okay, what is it that you like? How can we provide you a learning experience? And how can we be entertaining? And so that's why we always want feedback from our listeners. But the feedback that we've been getting is that, we're doing okay, that the direction that we're going in is good. And
let's just say this. If we're not getting feedback, the download count, I have to assume that people aren't just forgetting to unsubscribe. I mean, I can't go with that. I mean, our audience is actually growing a little bit. Which is good. I mean, we did have I think that 1 month in there, that 39,000 and change month, I think that was just I want to say that was like the spike, but the actual growth, if we take that month, if we discount that month and take it out of the equation, we are growing. Yeah. I mean, it felt for a moment like shit, we're losing some of our audience, but it's not actually the case. We had a spike, just like we had a spike. Remember when the show was first introduced to Overcast? I don't even know how it got onto Overcast. We saw like some crazy spike for one day.
Right. Then that was when we were getting what were we getting 200 or 300 downloads a day, if that, and we got like 1,500.
Yeah. It was a day that we never thought we would see again, and now those days are more on a much more regular basis. And the weeks are definitely mounting up so that they are. Yeah, we're doing well. We are doing well. I'm feeling comfortable. I'm a little bit worried, as I am, because it's just my nature. I'm a little bit worried when we get into this different level of execs that they're going to say, "What the fuck?" But then the other side of it is, okay, so they won't listen. And that'll be the end of that. But I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think there's always a level of person that wants to not be stuck in a let's learn how to grow our business mode every minute of every day. And maybe if they throw in a little bit of a tidbit of knowledge or information, along with the rest of the fuckery that they end up putting forward, maybe that'd be okay. So I don't know. I think that's going to be the approach that we take. I don't think we should change anything about what we're doing unless we hear this overwhelming response from our community that says, I'm more in tune to the people that have been listening to us for the last 2 years than I am to somebody that's just tuning in saying, oh man, these guys are way too blue for us.
Yep. Totally true. I agree. So then the other thing, this is almost 2 years we've been doing this, right? And we still have no advertisers. And this is one of the things we were going to talk about because, of course, we are talking to entrepreneurs, we're talking to small business owners, and it is all about making money. And we have not made a goddamn penny from this podcast yet, as much as we enjoy doing it. And, we talk about doing advertisers. And, Doug, I know your concern, you say, is, hey, then you're beholden to the advertiser. And I just kind of don't agree at all. I think we ought to get our opinion of the nice guys community on this. But to me,
hold on a second. No, hold on. But wait a second. I don't think that I do agree. I think that we should poll the community to find out. But wouldn't you think that if we really didn't feel that way, that we would have sponsors that would be, or do you have to sell everything? Aren't there people that would want to come on the show and say, hey, I'm really interested in being an advertiser? Or do you think that everything has to be sold?
I think the level that we're at right now, I'd be surprised if somebody came to us and said, hey, I want to advertise. I really do think that we need to reach out and that we haven't done that enough. And you know what? We threw this out 6 or 8 months ago, and I'm going to throw it out again because it's been quite a while since we did. We've got more listeners now. We are looking for an advertiser. We would love that. Now, obviously, if you are a listener, you know what we do. You know what we're all about. And so, it's real casual and fun, but we are 5 days a week. And we really want to get an advertiser that fits with what we do. But we're happy to pay a big commission. Like if somebody is interested, if you are a salesperson, which I know we have a lot of them out there, and you think you could find an advertiser, we would set it up with a commission where basically every time we have an ad from them, you get a commission. So let's say you find an advertiser that decides to stay with us for a year. You sell it one time and we're going to give you a commission for the whole year as long as they stick around, which, there could be a significant amount of money. I think, what are we going to offer? Like a 30?
I think 10%. I think 10% is I was
thinking like 25. Well, maybe not 30. I'm thinking like 25% commission.
It's a lot of money, Strick.
Yeah, but it's interesting. The Libsyn, I believe, takes like a 20% or more.
How about if we do this? How about if we leave it up to the negotiation between whoever is approaching us with somebody? Maybe somebody has somebody in their right pocket and they're just, hey, I know I have a client that would love to advertise on the Nice Guys. I think that I don't think that we have a clear cut program.
We don't yet. I mean, we do have an idea of what we would want to charge and what we can offer, but I don't want to go into like all the details of that here. But if somebody is if somebody has a business that might be an advertiser, please reach out to us and we can give you the details of what we're thinking. But keep in mind that, we can be flexible. But the reason I want to throw the commission percentage out there is, I want to offer incentive. I think at most sales jobs, depending on what it is that you're selling, typically you're looking at 5 or 10% commission. Now there's some things that are very high ticket dollar items and it's going to be a higher commission. But I think for anybody out there who's an entrepreneur and a salesperson, saying 25% commission, I mean, that's quite an incentive.
Oh, you're trying to give them like the ad, the boom. So, hey, why don't we really focus on the Nice Guys?
Right. I'm trying to incentivize the people who might be interested in selling us.
I'd be happy to. I would do I'd love to have a full-time salesperson that does nothing other than sell our space.
Well, if anybody out there is interested, if you have any advertisers, and the thing with podcast advertising is it's incredibly inexpensive. I mean, the dollars per episode, it can be very cheap. If you want to get specific dollars of what we charge and what somebody would have to pay, please reach out to us. You can either email Doug at Dougsandler.com, right? That's the best one for you?
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Yeah. Or reach out to me at strickb4@gmail.com. Heck, we have a Nice Guys email, don't we, that we never really look at?
It's Nice Guy. Well, it's automatically forwarded to my email. So it's niceguysonbusiness@gmail.com.
There you go. Niceguysonbusiness@gmail.com. Reach out to us and we can tell you all about our advertising plan, which we have no advertisers yet.
Is that because we're known as the ass clowns?
It's possible. It's very possible. But I know you're concerned that like an advertiser is going to say, hey, I don't like the way you do this. Look, my attitude is, dude, this is what we do. And if you don't want to advertise with us, then don't. All right. Yeah. I don't feel that any need to change what we do for any advertiser.
No, I agree. I don't think that we should have to change. There's always just that little thing that's going off in the back of my mind, and it says, oh, shit, I think that probably offended somebody, or I don't know. You remember, you and I both had a very good answer for this person that came up to us at DC Podfest and says, I don't like the way, don't you feel like you objectify women? That was, I don't remember, we were making a comment about whatever, and that was her response. And I think my knee-jerk response is, well, that's the great thing about a podcast. You don't have to listen.
Right.
Right. Maybe I should just have the attitude that the ones that aren't going to be interested, then just don't advertise with us.
Now, I really think that we are who we are attitude is really what it's all about. I mean, I listen to, I know Rush Limbaugh's a little dated. I don't even know if he's on the radio anymore or not. But
I think so.
There are guys out there that are on, the right wing on the Fox News channels, and then on the left wing of the MSNBC news channels that people find offensive because they feel that they're not really giving the news. They're not being objective, that they're putting too much of their opinion into it. Well, you know what? Don't listen to them then, right?
Well, and it does come down to things like, if you don't like, do you follow, I don't even know the name of the league that she's in, but that whole Ronda Rousey thing. Is that how you say her name?
Ronda Rousey, right? The UFC fighter.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of women fighting each other. I'm not a big fan of men fighting each other either, but the idea of women fighting each other, I mean, that's just kind of, it just is a total turnoff for me. So as people start to talk to me about the Ronda, what's her name? Ronda
Rousey.
So Ronda Rousey, and I think that she just fought last week and she lost her fight in like 45 seconds. And the only reason I know that is because we have visitors staying at the house. And I think there was a conversation that was started. I can't remember if I started it. Maybe I saw a link and I'm like, what the fuck is it? What? How this is a sport? The cage fighting thing, the thing where people are killing each other in the mixed martial art. Yeah, it's a sport. Okay, I don't want to hear from everybody that says, yes, it's a sport. It's of ancient times and you should have respect. I don't love the idea of women fighting each other. Hey, that looks like that way. So you know what? I don't tune in for the same reason why I don't tune into an NBA basketball game. For the same reason I don't tune into Major League Baseball or the NHL or many things. Or the same reason I don't subscribe to a cable television. It's not my thing. But does that leave us, either of us, in a more ignorant position because we don't? I don't get the news, Strick. I don't.
No, but I think that we do listen to the feedback of our listeners, and we won't necessarily agree with you, but we want to hear it. Sometimes we may agree with you, and other times we may not, but we really want to hear your opinion. And I think the fact that we stay open-minded about it, and there have certainly been things, for example, when eat, drink, sleep, Dubai, right?
Dubai, right. I invited him or her on the show. I have not heard back from him or her.
Well, he gave us, he or she or whoever maybe, they basically said, hey, you reviewed Evernote and OneNote and you didn't know what the hell you were talking about. And listening to that, we basically said, hey, look, this was totally not a product review, but it certainly pointed out to us that, hey, maybe the way we are perceived, at least on that episode, was as product reviewers. And so things like that, we want the feedback because we want to make sure that what you say doesn't matter. It's what somebody else
heard.
hears.
Oh, yeah, totally agree. Yeah. And if there is something that you think that would be a good product or service for us to potentially have as an advertiser, I'm even curious as to I love the idea of having somebody sell it for us, but I have no problem making a call or sending an email to somebody or reaching out on Twitter or any other social platform to try to promote what we do. If you think that there is a good fit for us somewhere, maybe just let me know. I am not adverse to selling.
And the other thing that we can do that I don't think we've talked to the community about is if you have somebody that's interested, we can make them a sponsor for a single show for free. And basically we can record a live read ad for them to give them an example of how we would promote their product. Now, we're totally open to a pre-recorded ad if somebody really wants that. But, or a script, like if they've got a specific script they want us to read, fine. But we're much better and really prefer to do the casual, like, hey, tell us what the product is so we know about it and we can talk about it as us. And we're happy to do a free read of that for somebody to say, hey, if you were a sponsor, it would be something along these lines.
Yeah, the thing that's very challenging, though, is I've had a couple people that have approached us with, will you play this on the show? And let's see if we can move the needle. We're really not interested in being a proving ground for you. We know what we do is effective in that we have a lot of listeners. And what was Rob Walsh from Lipson? What was his? He gave us some statistic that said something like, if you have more than X amount of listeners, you have more than 95% of the people. Do you remember what those numbers were?
I believe we're in the top 10%, like the number of downloads we have per episode. I believe we're in the top 10% of podcasters at this point. Yeah.
I mean, to me, that warrants proof enough that we have an audience. Now, whether we can get our audience to do anything, like we have, I forget, but how do you ever prove that?
Yeah, I know.
We had a guest, Rosario came on the show, and he promoted his T-shirts. He owns the Quit Bitching Coalition. Mm-hmm. He moved a lot of T-shirts as a result of being on the show.
Yeah, and then we decided to have a T-shirt design, and we haven't sold any of them.
No, and we haven't, and I'm just like, that's fine, it's okay with me. It didn't cost us any money to have the idea of having a T-shirt design, but the $5 I think was the design cost. But it's interesting to try to figure out what we think would fit in well for our audience. I really don't know. I don't know. I'm very open to a conversation of what we think would be and then there's going to be that one thing that we do that's going to be a hit. And I don't know what that hit is.
I don't either. It'll happen though, I'm sure. But we're totally open to suggestion. Would love to hear the ideas of our nice guy community. If you guys have any ideas on how we can hit that, we're open to it.
Okay. What else you got on your list today? What do we want to talk about?
I don't know. That was really about it. I don't have anything else like specific on the topic list.
What's let's see. What's the date of today's show? Do you know the date of today?
5th, I believe.
5th of January?
Yeah.
So we got 25 days before Gary Vee comes on the show, and I think that we really need to start coming up with a great plan. I don't want to have him come on the show and us be flat-footed on the show.
Well, no, that's what we need. We need to get questions from the nice guy community. So Gary Vaynerchuk is coming on the show, and what if you could ask Gary Vaynerchuk any question? What would it be? And
what would it be?
Can ask for you.
Yeah, I totally would ask for you if you really have, and I'm a fan of Gary's methodology. I like the fact that he's a little bit raw. I like the fact that he is more of a shoot from the hip kind of guy. It's like, okay, let's see if we can. To a degree, I like the similarities between him and Jeffrey Hazlett, because from C-Suite, what Jeffrey always says is, "Did anybody die?" I kind of like that. We don't know all the answers, but we're going to figure it out as we go along. And we feel like, as a part of this podcast, this has been we're like the petri dish of podcasting. I mean, we really don't. Have you ever listened to some of the shows that are out there, and they have this very focused content, and they have very focused goals for their show, and they have seasons? Where did we fuck up with that? We missed all of that.
I don't know.
So you don't either.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Anyway, so when Gary comes on the show, I know part of what Gary, and he's very focused, and he's very driven. I don't know that he's focused, but I know that he's driven, and maybe he is focused. I'll ask him when he comes on the show. If there is anything that you want to know, please let me know. I'm happy to ask him any question. I have been listening to his the Ask Gary Vee podcast for the last couple of weeks since I knew he was coming on the show.
I have not listened to his podcast. I really.
No, you've got to listen to it, because the stuff that what's interesting about it, and believe me, I'm not trying to draw a comparison between his show and our show, but what's interesting about his approach to business and our approach to business, it's very similar. It's like, I don't know, but if we can, I think I posted, I wouldn't be able to find the quote immediately, but basically he's saying something like, if you've been doing it for 18 months and you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you really should try to do something else, because it's not working, or something like that. It's
right.
He's very pragmatic about his approach, but he's also very open to change along the way. I really don't think that success is a single straight line. I think success is a jumbled mess, and you go in a direction, and if you don't think that is working, just continue. You don't stop working and don't quit, but just come up with another plan. Come up with another way to get there.
No, don't. You got to stay flexible. The only constant is change, and that's really what it's all about. You've got to stay flexible. Yeah. So
Strickland, as we start to wrap up this episode and get into the meat of January, I'm really having some high hopes for the show. I'm thinking 40,000 downloads within the next 90 days is definitely an attainable thing. I think $100 from Amazon, as we established as our goal last month. I want to get that check from Amazon, even if it's for just $100 and we do a little happy hour. That would be great too, if there's any listeners that are local.
No, that'd be great.
There's one of our listeners, Paul Marina. He reached out to me last week, or maybe the week before, and he said, "Would you guys be open to doing a live episode?" I think he has a commercial cleaning business, and he has a lot of clients that own like restaurants and bars.
Oh yeah,
and he thinks it would be a good idea for us to take our show into one of those restaurants and bars and do a live episode. And I'm totally, you like that idea?
Oh, how cool would that be? I would love that.
No, I'm totally into it. He thinks it would be great to attract a bigger audience for us. I agree. I think it would be great as in a little promotional fun gimmick for the restaurant or bar, and I agree with that. And I figure that oftentimes if you surround yourself with alcohol, good things will happen. so I know you have that philosophy as well.
Oh, most definitely. All right,
definitely. Should we wrap up here?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I think that's a good spot. Nice guy community.
Nice and tight.
Yeah, nice and tight. Never underestimate the power of nice. Strick, let's get into January. Let's move on to February and this launch of the C-Suite Radio and have a good time. Why don't you let Steve do the you say it.
Happy New Year, everybody. Steve O'Brien, take us out of here.
For the Nice Guys on Business, I'm Steve O'Brien. Fill up your week with the Nice Guys. 5 episodes a week. Isn't that like some kind of a war crime? Why don't you just waterboard these poor people?